We have these achievers who have come to us from all parts of our country and we want to hear their stories. इनकी कहानी, इनकी जुबानी. तो सबसे पहले शुरुआत करते हैं Sameera Reddy, a personality who needs no introduction. What has now brought you here is one singular achievement, which is that she leads an enormous campaign called Imperfectly Perfect. And this is a campaign about women who suffer body shaming, mental health issues, postpartum depression, bullying, and all the other things that keep you from being winners. Sameera Reddy, सुनते हैं आपकी कहानी, आपकी जुबानी.
First of all, thank you. That is an exception. I wish I could hear that every morning. It would really help me get up and fight. And I say this every day to myself. People ask me, how are you so confident, right? Aren't you worried about the fact that you're aging? Or you're not like, a slim figure? Or the fact that at one point in my career, I was so interested in what everybody thought of how I should look. Because there's a box that we all try to fit. And for years, I tried to fit that box. But today, I think, in fact, somebody asked me, you're a movie star. I said, I don't look at myself as a movie star. I look at myself as a woman trying to make a small difference in a world that I caved into for many years. I try to live a life, I try to keep it up, and I try to extend my shelf life. Have you heard this before, ladies? We have a shelf life. We have a shelf life to achieve, to have children, biological clocks. If a man ages, he's sexy with that gray hair. We get one gray hair, it's like butti ban gayi.
That's news.
Oh, yeah? So I'm saying that the future is today of standing tall and trying to make a small difference to any woman out there listening. And whether it's postpartum, whether it's a 16-year-old looking at someone like me on screen and saying, I need to look like that. I need to have that size and that face and that skin and that hair. I need to be that change for her. Because when I looked around, when I came back and I saw social media, which for me quite a scary place. I mean, for all age groups. And I said, there is nobody saying it's okay to just look like yourself. Everyone's saying, I wake up in the morning, I look so amazing. It's not amazing. And that's where the story began.
Yeah, it's good to be yourself because everybody else is taken, right?
Well, it's everybody uses the word flaw. You're flawed because you don't look this way. I'm like, your flaw is what makes you unique, which becomes your superpower.
Mental health, which was earlier a taboo, is now on the table. It's no more, I think, a subject which can't be discussed. How did you reach this particular mission?
Because I think when I suffered postpartum depression and I didn't realize what I was going through, because everybody told me, oh, you're going to bounce back. You have to bounce back. What do you mean you have to? You have to feel good. You've had a baby. You need to keep it together. You need to look a certain way. You need to smile for the in-laws. You need to smile for the camera. You need to bounce back at work. You need to just get out there and just behave like nothing happened. And I didn't see anybody telling me, actually, it's normal. Today, what I'm trying to do is just tell women out there that if you are going through hormonal changes at any age, it's normal. So don't sit, and I didn't see any person out there being like a beacon of hope that it's okay to just, change sizes or not go back to who you were. Women need to redefine. We need to evolve, and we need to be told that that is the powerful thing. Not sticking to a certain way and saying the powerful thing is going back to that because it's safe. The fear of not being in that safe space is what I'm trying to break and say that's okay. And in fact, you're heading to a place which is going to be much better if you just believe in it.
The next personality is a young lady who was the youngest female pilot to fly a Boeing 777 in the world.
Wow.
Captain Zoya Agarwal. She became the youngest woman pilot from India to fly and train on a Boeing in 2013. That was 10 years back. Then she became the youngest woman commander to pilot a your aircraft all the way from San Francisco to Bengaluru, which is one of the world's longest commercial air routes, over the North Pole 2 years back. So many firsts to your credit, Captain Zoya Agarwal. Welcome on board.
Well, thank you for such a stellar introduction. I think for me, more than my name Zoya, this all accomplishments rather are for every single girl who sees me in that uniform and he says, अगर वो कर सकती है तो मैं भी कर सकती हूँ. मुझे भी वही बनना है. Because that is how we can change the paradigm of the society and the world. Because where I came from when I was 8 years old, I had to struggle to fight against the thought processes, the society, the world around me. Why does a child have to fight for her basic right to follow her dreams, to live her life? That is our fundamental right. So that is the world that I want to envision and create for our future generations, which is why I'm really happy I'm able to be that 0.00001% of the drop in the ocean to make the whole ocean of women empowerment, not only in India, but the whole wide world, so that Bharat ki beti can do anything they want and anything they feel that, you know, they want to fly, they can fly high and pretty much get to any place they want. Because my journey was such that when I joined Air India, I was amongst a handful of girl pilots and the youngest. From there, Air India was always an equal opportunity employer. So the women empowerment was such a, you know, amazing thing that we always saw the airline doing for every single employee of theirs. We were given equal opportunities to rise, and from there, where I was amongst a handful of girl pilots in the whole population, today we have an astounding 15% of women pilots, which is amazing. And we also are the highest in the world, which is 12.4%. India is at the topmost point. So we are leading the world's statistics for women commercial pilots, and I'm super happy about all the Indian girls doing India proud.
We now move on to a person who is coming from the land of the rising sun. Please welcome Rita Tage from Arunachal Pradesh, an engineer who turned an entrepreneur and set up and founded the Nara Aba Winery. This is in her hometown, Hong Village in Zero Valley. And it has been a long journey for her, but she's made such a huge impact in her community, helped out thousands of people, farmers, to realize their potential, have better earnings, better opportunities towards a better life. And if I have to read out the list of awards she has received, including one from the Honorable Prime Minister a couple of years back, then that list will run into a few pages. Rita Tage, आपकी कहानी, आपकी जुबानी.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm really feeling very privileged and honored to be here this evening. And thank you to our very charming host today. So my name is Rita, and I'm an engineer by qualification. And I was working in a government department in my state government for many years. I started working at the age of 19. That's because I had to fund my own studies. So I started working very young. And then after that, also I got married early because I had a job, and then there's a norm that you have a secured career, so you had to get married, and then I had children. Today my daughter and my husband, they are there, right here. They're watching me. And I must say that as a child, just like the previous speaker had said, I had that one quality in me that I always wanted to excel in whatever I do. And then sometimes, not only, many a times, when I look at people doing certain things, the things that seems to be good, I felt within me that I could have done better than, something that had come out. That feeling I had. And luckily for me, there was no any kind of restrictions from me from home. My parents, they had given me good education. Thanks to the Christian missionary schools that were there in our place, I studied in Assam, although I'm from Arunachal. And then yes, I was working, had a comfortable job. But then, like, my place, Zero Valley, a lot of, we are, you know, culturally we are an agrarian by nature. And then a lot of kiwi fruits were grown in our place, and kiwi fruits were brought from by the state government department to our place. And farmers had cultivated lots, but then with a lot of investment and hard work, they grew the fruits, but then there were no market because roads were not good, and people in India and even in our place, they were not aware of the these exotic fruits that were there. And that was a time that me and my husband together, we brought out the idea of having a winery on our own. So that's how, like, from 2017 now onwards, we made wines out of kiwi, and we are apparently the first in the country to make wine out of kiwi, fresh and organic kiwi fruits. And now we have ventured into other, many other variants of fruits. And recently I've been to Shark Tank India too, and have had a very nice experience there too. So that's all my journey, and so far.
अब हमारे बीच एक बहुत ही विशेष अतिथि हैं जो रण ऑफ कच्छ से आज आए हैं हमारे साथ, पाबी बहन रबारी जी। एक बार जोरदार तालियों के साथ इनका स्वागत कीजिए। ये हमारे देश की पहली एंटरप्रेन्योर हैं जिन्होंने अपना ब्रांड क्रिएट किया, pabiben.com इनकी वेबसाइट है, और पाबी बैग इनका ट्रेडमार्क बैग है, जिसको बॉलीवुड में और हमारे देश में बहुत सारे स्टार्स और सेलिब्रिटीज पाबी बैग का इस्तेमाल करते हैं, अपने साथ रखते हैं। पाबी बहन जी, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत। सुनना चाहेंगे आपकी कहानी, आपकी जुबानी।
मेरा नाम पाबीबेन रबारी है, मैं कच्छ से हूँ। मेरी जो सफर है वो मेरे बचपन से शुरू होती है, क्योंकि हमारा रबारी समाज का जो मूल व्यवसाय है भेड़ बकरियां चराना। तो मेरा पापा भी भेड़ बकरियां चराता था, तभी मेरी 5 साल की उम्र थी। तो कच्छ में सबसे ज्यादा पानी की कमी थी। आज तो बहुत उद्योग आए हैं कच्छ में, नर्मदा भी आए हैं, लेकिन हम जब छोटे थे तभी पानी नहीं थे और बारिश भी कम होती थी। तो मेरा पापा कुएं से पानी निकल रहे भेड़ बकरियों को पिलाने के लिए, उसमें पाँव गिर गया, तो मेरा पापा का देहांत ऐसे हुआ। तभी मैं 5 साल की थी, दूसरी बहन थी वो 3 साल की थी, और तीसरी मेरी माँ के पेट थी। तो मेरा पापा एक्सपायर हो गए, तो सबको ऐसा हुआ कि ये हुआ। लेकिन जब मेरी तीसरी बहन का जन्म हुआ, तभी हमारा घर का एकदम माहौल बिगड़ गया। सबको ऐसा लगा कि बेटी आई, तीसरी भी बेटी आई। तो मैंने सोचा ऐसा है समाज में, क्योंकि वो 5 साल की उम्र में मेरे को पता चला कि सबको बेटा चाहिए, बेटियों का कोई महत्व नहीं रहता। तो मेरी माँ 1-2 साल तो घर में ही रही, और उसके बाद बाहर कमाने के लिए गई। मेरी माँ तो पढ़ी लिखी थी नहीं। बाद में हम जैसे तैसे 4 कक्षा तक पढ़े, तीनों बहना। जब 4 कक्षा तक पढ़े तो पाँव में चप्पल नहीं था, माथे में रबर नहीं थी, और पढ़ने के लिए दफ्तर नहीं थे। कॉटन की 5 रुपये की थैली लेकर हम पढ़ने के लिए गए थे। ऐसे 4 कक्षा तक पढ़े, और 4 कक्षा तक जब भी मैं पढ़ी तभी मेरे को पता चला कि पढ़ना चाहिए। लेकिन गांव में पढ़ने का था नहीं, पास में गांव था, उधर पढ़ने का था मुफ्त में, लेकिन उधर जाने के मेरी माँ के पास भाड़े नहीं थे, क्योंकि हमारी आर्थिक परिस्थिति बहुत खराब थी। ऐसे हमारा बचपना था।
Our next guest, Dr. Geetha Manjunath, the founder, Chief Executive Officer and Chief Technical Officer of Niramai Health Analytics, who has led her company to develop a breakthrough solution based on artificial intelligence for early stage detection of breast cancer. Please welcome Dr. Manjunath, and I must add that she is also the holder of 18 United States patents. What an achievement.
Thank you so much. My father has always been supportive about what I want to do, what I want to choose. For example, at 12th standard, I got both the best college in medical and best college in engineering. Everybody said, female, you choose the medicine. But I always loved science and maths from the beginning. So if I see radio or anything, you know, my father used to be sort of wanting to kind of repair on his own and things like that. He's like opening up things. So I used to sit with him and open up things and see how these things work and so on. So I used to love books which says, how does it work, you know. I actually topped in my bachelor's across all branches in the state. And then had an opportunity to also join Indian Institute of Science for my master's in computer science. And I had a wonderful learning experience there as well. And then I should really again acknowledge my parents. You know, we've been talking about tenacious mother and supporting father, I've seen that. Then I went on to, you know, win a gold medal also in my master's in IISc. And then I didn't want to go abroad. I am like Mera Bharat Mahan. So I joined of the group which was developing the first supercomputer from India. Again, 17 years after that in Hewlett-Packard Labs as principal scientist, worked with international researchers and so on. Then I went on to do my PhD in IISc, and then all good. So I went on to head artificial intelligence research for Xerox Corporation as a lab director. Everything was good. I had a wonderful team of researchers and so on, playing a techno-managerial role. Then suddenly, my life changed. One of my very close cousin sister, Bharti, she was 42 years of age. She just got detected with a late-stage breast cancer. She lived for 6 months after that. It was extremely shocking because she was very close friend, more than the sister, more close friend. And I really said, okay, what am I doing? I'm trying to solve some world's problem, world's innovation, and trying to see how people can drive cars faster or buy things better and things like that, you know, using AI. And here is a problem which is killing 684,000 women every year. 2,000 women die of breast cancer every day. And the good news is we can save most of them. The only reason they're dying is because of late detection. So I set myself, okay, let me start a small research in this area and see what I can do. I'm not a, you know, like a medical doctor. So I learned about breast cancer and tried to do this overnight and so on for a few months. And then I said, okay, I'm going to quit my job. I think I won't regret that decision, but definitely I want to acknowledge my family for supporting me in that decision, and started Niramai 6 years ago. And I'm very happy to say that, yes, we have created a very, very novel solution for breast cancer detection, which is affordable, accessible, which can work on women of all age groups, you know, because in India we see a lot of 20 to 40-year-old having cancer compared to the rest of the world. And most importantly, maybe because it was lady or a bunch of females also developing it for females, we made it completely privacy-aware. This is the only breast cancer screening test where nobody needs to see you without clothes. Nobody will touch you when you're not wearing clothes. What I mean is all of the tests actually have this. So it's a completely no-see, no-touch, radiation-free, affordable, portable solution. Thank you.
And I'd like to introduce you to Monica Saxena, who is the captain of the Indian women's polo team. She started her polo career 15 years back after her second son was born. And Monica is the only mother of two playing competitive polo in our country.
I started my riding in 1999 when I mentioned to my father, who was in army, that I was interested in horse riding. And he helped me to join an army establishment where I met my husband, who was also learning riding there. Then we shifted to APRC, which is Army Polo Riding Center. And I'm so thankful to Indian Army and APRC because they gave me this platter to pursue my interest and my dreams in my life. And I'm here all thanks to Indian Army and APRC and my husband.
We now move on to Saraswati Anand, who's the Assistant Vice President, Language Cluster, Network 18, Media and Investments. She's spent 16 years in a shining, bright career in brand management, 10 years as a top media professional, and guess what? She was getting bored 2 years back during the lockdown. So she decided to say, you know, do something to keep kind of busy, time pass sort of an activity, and she took on powerlifting to pass time 2 years back and ended up lifting 100 kilos in a deadlift. Saraswati Anand, I dare not flex my muscles before you.
I mean, I did not have such lofty ideals of being an inspiration or, you know, living up to somebody. That's my coach. He has bigger biceps than me, but yeah. So I started 2 years ago because I have twin girls. And, you know, they don't play. Kids these days don't play. They sit at home. It was online education. And I started advising them. They're like, what are you doing? You're always in front of the screen. And that was one of the reasons. And the second reason was I ended up with an autoimmune disease, which was something called ITP. So my platelets would drop down to 500,000. I'd have clots. I'd be bleeding through the nose or the ear, just sitting. And the doctor told me we had chemo, we had rounds of treatment. At the end, he called me and said, Saraswati, no contact sports. Maybe you can walk. You just start walking. And I looked at the 75 and 80-year-olds, no disrespect to them, walking, and I said, at 38, is that where I have landed? And from there, I started lifting weights because it was not going to lead to any injury. And I had a wonderful trainer who started training me. And thankfully, I was spotted by an international coach. And I have trained to lift 100 kgs in 2 years. I just missed the world record. But I know I'm going to go back for it.